Hello, I am Victoria Seed and I am coming to you live today from the Vesta Approach in Manchester, UK. So every week I run this 10 at 11 session across my socials, and this is a 10-minute-ish session on a topic related to addiction and family recovery. And this is suitable for anybody who has found themselves in a situation where they're living with somebody else's alcohol or drug use, and also professionals, nosy people, whatever you want to do here, people that want to collab. This will also benefit you as well. So I help families worldwide affected by a loved one's drug and alcohol use to reduce their stress and to live a better life. And I do this by teaching really effective strategies to cope through my one-to-one and group work programs, and I can help you as well. So you can actually grab my free download, which has lots and lots of tips and advice from the 20 years that I've been doing this, and it'll be straight into your inbox. So please head over and grab that for yourselves. I've written it for you. So please grab it. These kind of tips that I go through in the video and everything else will go straight to your inbox in a PDF. All right. So if you want to make any comments underneath, please do. Please share this video with anyone that might need it. And what we're talking about in today's session is 3 reasons why your approach is making no difference to your loved one's addiction. So I'm going to go straight into it. Number 1 is lack of consistency. So when people come to work with me, they're usually at the end of the tether. They have been waiting for between 2 and 12 years is the average. So some people 2 years, some people 12, some people are more than that, and they've been waiting for a loved one to change, which hasn't obviously happened. And I want to stress in all of my videos, in all of my content, in all of the ways that I help people, it is not anybody else's responsibility to change a loved one's alcohol or drug use. It's actually on them. However, we know that it's not as easy as that, because actually one person's alcohol or drug use affects the whole family. So what family members, friends and partners tend to do is jump from one strategy to the next, to the next, to the next, without having any consistent approach at all. And like anything in our lives, if we are inconsistent, usually means one key thing's going on there. There are no clear boundaries. And your loved one, if not the addiction, the substance, actually needs those boundaries in place so that it can't thrive. And I want you to remember that, because otherwise the drug or the alcohol is just going to trample all over your life. So the consistency and the boundaries are really important. And my clients come to me saying they've tried everything. But normally what happens after I speak to them is that they've tried something for 5 minutes. Usually, like, they'll have done some reading or attended a 12-step meeting or whatever, which I'm not saying doesn't work, by the way, but anything you do has to be consistent and you have to implement what you are told. So they come to me they try one thing for 5 minutes. So for example, tough love. So they've told the loved one if they don't stop using the substance, they're going to throw them out. And then the reason why that doesn't work is because it's not that easy for people to stop using a substance. And actually, when they stop using the substance, that's just the start of the recovery journey, right? So then they might say, well, they'll throw an ultimatum out. If you don't change, then I'm going to throw you out. And then they might take the notice for 1 or 2 days. The family member might move out. They might kick the partner, their adult child, whoever it is, out. And then, although that's really painful for the family member, and the person using the substance might change in the very short term, but things normally revert back to old behavior, don't they? and it all starts again. So then the overall message given to your loved one is that really they can pretty much do anything they want and nothing really changes. So, you know, without that clarity, support, and boundaries in place, a real understanding of the patterns of your loved one's use, then nothing's going to change. Sometimes people will change, you know, and they'll just change themselves one day, something will happen. So that can happen. I'm not saying it can't, but most of the time, that isn't people's reality. So have a think about all of the strategies that you've tried recently. Write them all down and just tick off any that you feel like have had some sort of an impact and any that haven't. And the ones that aren't, and you've got to be really honest with yourself in these type of exercises, like are you yelling, are you throwing booze away, whatever it is, you know, stop doing it because it's not having any impact. So number 2, using strategies that don't work. So we've got a bit of an overlap with the first one here, but think about this, like, are you throwing booze down the sink or searching for drugs? Are you yelling within an inch of your life? Are you throwing ultimatums out left, right, and centre? Because my guess is that none of these have had any lasting difference to your loved one's addiction. And most family members, friends, and partners don't have the time or the support to be able to take a step out of the chaos and actually reflect on these things like, what am I doing? Like, what's working? Where's it coming from? And is it possibly making the situation worse? Because again, it is not your fault if you're a family member, friend, or partner, but actually conflict, for example, can create a wonderful excuse for somebody to go and use a substance. And I'm sure a lot of people understand that. So consistency here is the key. You've got to understand which of these strategies are working and which are not. So think about trying 1 or 2 strategies, and I talk about these in my videos, so go and check the other videos out. You know, learn how to implement them and actually implement them, because I've worked with people who have come to all of the sessions, listened to everything I say, but actually they don't put it into practice, and that's a hard bit. That's what we work on in one-to-one and group work support. And think about what's going to help you ultimately, because you're the person. If you change yourself and look after yourself and stop using every little last bit of energy on trying to get your loved one to change using strategies that don't work, and you focus on those that do, and focus on those that work for you, not just for your loved one, then you're going to have some sort of an impact. Carry on with those things or learn about those type of strategies. And that's what I do, you know, so you can come to me and have a friendly chat about this. Number 3, focusing your energy on the wrong person. So like I've touched on already, you are channeling every little last bit of energy into changing your loved one, getting them to stop using the alcohol or drug. But it hasn't worked, has it? So that's because the one thing or one person you need to be focusing on mainly is yourself. Because how else are you going to make a difference here? What your loved one does as a grown adult, sometimes it's younger people, so it's slightly different, but what your loved one chooses to do as a grown adult with exactly the same resources as us or you is pretty much up to them. And you can influence a change by changing the environment in which you live in. But you can't, I can't guarantee any of my clients that you're going to change them. But most of the time it happens through just changing your own approach, taking care of yourself, learning strategies and skills that drug and alcohol practitioners use to motivate a loved one to change. And you know, I don't want you to be in a situation where you're carrying on and on for 2 to 20 years. You know, some people it's been 20 years and nothing's changed. And that's why people come to me, because they're so worn down with it, they can't manage it anymore. So let's try and get in there as early as possible. And what I would suggest you do is just drop me a message, because we can book in a friendly chat. I'll put a link in under the videos as well, so you can book that straight in. And we'll have a chat about your situation. I'll give you a few tips that you can go away with. And if you want to work with me, you can come and work with me. So that's it. I can help you. And again, if you're not ready to take up that phone call or have a chat, please go and grab this, because you're going to get my top 10 tips into your inbox. Take care. I will see you next week, and I hope you have a good weekend. Bye.